Hi everyone, welcome back to another flashlight video. This time Sofirn was kind enough to reach out to the channel and send out here their new ST1 flashlight, which is a pretty unique designed flashlight that we'll check out here in just a moment. But first, went ahead and to save time, went ahead and unboxed everything. So first off, you do get a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, as this is USB-C rechargeable. You do get a lanyard. It is not an adjustable lanyard, unfortunately, but you do get a lanyard. And you do get the user manual for the ST1. And as I do in all my videos, I'll go ahead and put the user manual up on the screen here. There are two segments to the user manual, so I'll put segment 1 up first, and then segment 2. So if you want to check out that information, you can. All right, let's take a closer look here at the box real fast. Take a close look at the back and the bottom of the box. Now let's take a closer look at the Sofirn ST1 here. It's got a pretty unique flat design to it. You can see where you attach the lanyard and the USB-C charging port there. It does have this yellow protector on the lens. So we'll go ahead and take that off real fast, put that off to the side. And let's talk about all the specs here on the Sofirn ST1. So the first thing about the Sofirn ST1, and I'll zoom in here a little bit, it has a total of 5 LEDs. So its main LED in the middle there is a SFT25R spot LED, which is at 6,000 to 6,500 Kelvin. And then if you see off to the side, you have 2 on the left and 2 on the right. You have 4 total CSP1313 LEDs, and they're at 5,000 Kelvin. So you basically have a good all-around beam here on the ST1, and we'll test that when we take it outside to test it out in the dark. But you have a combination of throw and flood. The max lumens outputs for the ST1 is 1,500 lumens at 226 meters. And I'll zoom back out a little bit so you're not zoomed so in. All right, so the ST1 is made out of AL6061 T6 aerospace grade aluminum alloy with a cyber-inspired design. So I'll put this on the screen. So they say it's a cyber-inspired design. Like I said, it's a pretty unique design flashlight. I haven't quite reviewed a flashlight like this yet. So this is pretty neat. For those of you looking for a flat flashlight, this might be the one for you. Now it's equipped with a 2100 milliamp hour long-lasting battery with up to 450 hours of runtime at 1 lumen. And it has up to 100 hours of runtime at 10 lumens. So you got some pretty long runtimes here in the lower modes. The ST1 also has 0 standby current draw, which ensures 365 days of ultra long standby. So the battery in the ST1 is built in. I'm not a big fan of batteries that are built into flashlights myself. I prefer to be able to change out the battery in the future if I need to. But I do like the idea that this one does have a 0 standby current, and so your battery is not going to be draining over time fairly quickly. So that's really cool. I really like that feature that's built into here, the ST1. You also have a one button control with the ST1. So they have one button here that does everything on the ST1. So you control all the modes and all the functions. So it should be a fairly easy user interface. And let me go turn that back off here. Actually, when you get this, it's going to be locked out. I'll talk about that a little bit more in the UI portion of the video. So there's the USB-C charging port for the ST1. Let's see if it's in there pretty snug. It is in there pretty snug. You can't pop it out very easily, which I always like. And you can tail stand the ST1, so if you want to use it as a lantern, you can. Now you do have a battery. Well, first off, let's go back. So as I said, it's USB-C rechargeable. You do have a charging indicator light. So I'll put this on the screen here. So when it's red, solid red, it's charging. When it's solid green, it's fully charged. And I'll try to put the times of how long roughly it should take to charge up the ST1. I'll try to put that on the screen here for you guys. Battery level indicator. So you do have a battery level indicator on ST1. I really like this feature on flashlights. So that way you get a quick snapshot of where your flashlight battery is before you have to possibly use it for a long duration. All right, green, 50 to 100% in your battery. Orange, your battery's between 20 and 50%. And if it's red, your battery's between 1 and 20%. Now you also have a low battery warning here on the ST1. So the light, the LED indicator light on the ST1 will go into what they call a red breathing mode. and that activates when the battery's falls below 10%. So this is to let you know the battery's low and you need to recharge it, and also it's designed to help protect the battery so you don't damage the battery by letting it go too low on the ST1. All right, the ST1 is IPX7 waterproof, good for 1 meter for 30 minutes of submersion, and 1.5 meter impact resistant. All right, so the dimensions. So this looks like a pretty long, it's a pretty long looking flashlight, but it's very thin also. So the dimensions real quick here on the ST1. It's 120 millimeters in length, or 4.72 inches, 28 millimeters wide, or 1.1 inches, and it has a height of 16 millimeters, or 0.63 inches. And the weight with the battery is 102 grams and 3.52 ounces. All right, so the outputs here on the ST1. Moon, 1 lumen, 450 hours, really long runtime. Low, 10 lumens, 100 hours. Medium, 350 lumens for 3 hours and 30 minutes. High is between 800 and 600 lumens. In other words, it will step down if it gets too hot to protect the flashlight. You got roughly a runtime of 10 minutes and plus another 100 minutes at the lower output. And turbo, 1500 lumens and dropping down to 600 lumens. You got about 2 minutes on turbo and about 100 minutes once it drops down. The max throw, as I stated before, on the Sofirn ST1 is 226 meters, and the max intensity is 12,800 candela. By the way, any links, purchase links or coupons or anything will be in the links in the video description, so just FYI there. All right, so next we'll go ahead and do the UI here on the ST1 to show you how to operate it, and then we'll take it outside to test it outside in the dark. All right, the user interface or UI on the Sofirn ST1. As I said, they tell you in the manual when you get the light, it is electronically locked out when you get it, so it does not turn on while it's in shipping. So to undo that, you're just going to simply double click, and this will unlock the flashlight. And if you want to relock the flashlight or engage the lockout, the electronic lockout, when the flashlight is off, you're just going to double click again. And you'll see it do that little flash on the LED indicator there. And if you try to turn it on, it's just going to flash, let you know that it's in lockout. So obviously to undo that, you just double click again and you're out of lockout. Okay. All right. The first mode we're going to do here is moonlight. So from off, you just hold down the button here and you go into moonlight. So that's about 1 lumen. And you can go into normal modes from there if you wish by just holding down the button. But anyway, we'll just do the normal modes here. So from off, you turn it on. Then to go into, you're already in low, and then you go to medium and high, you just hold the button down. And let's see if it has memory. So we'll put it on medium, turn it off, turn it back on. Yep, it does have memory. So like I said, for moonlight, we're in moonlight right now. You can also jump into the normal modes by holding down the button, low, medium, and high. It will not go back into moonlight. So to go back in moonlight, you would have to turn it off and hold the button down. Then you go back into moonlight. All right, turbo. Turbo has to be accessed while the flashlight is on. So you'd have the flashlight on and you're going to double click. And you go into that turbo, 1500 lumens, which we're going to check out here in the beam shots coming up here. So a really easy UI. And if you press once you're in turbo, you go back to the last mode you were in. We'll go up to medium to double check that. So there's turbo, 1 click, you go back to medium, so very good. So it does have memory, so we'll memorize those modes. All right, so let's take the ST1 outside and see how it performs outside in the dark. All right, the night has finally come and we are outside here with the Sofirn ST1. And we're gonna go ahead and start out in moonlight with the ST1. Angle the camera down a little bit. Now 1 lumen, probably not so much for walking around, but if you needed some light discipline and you wanted to use this to read or something, probably great for that. But you can see you make it out in the ground. I can just see the bird bath over there, but probably not gonna make it out in the camera. So that's moonlight. Let's bump it up to low, 10 lumens. This is 10 lumens. Definitely seeing that bird bath. Bird bath is about 30 feet away from me. The ST1 seems to have a good amount of spot and flood on the beam, so a good all-around beam. And we'll go ahead and aim this down a little bit. So I would say if you're in a familiar area, 10 lumens would be plenty to be able to walk around pretty safely if you're pretty familiar with the area to get around. And remember, You get 100 hours of runtime with low at 10 lumens. And that moonlight we just did, that's 450 hours, so a really long run time with that. All right, let's go ahead and bump it up to medium, 350 lumens. Definitely be able to make out the beam a little more. You definitely see that hot spot and the spill around it. Again, a good all-around beam. You can see the tree stump out there. This is a little over 100 feet away. Definitely make out the tree line. Really good. So 3 hours and 30 minutes at medium, 350 lumens. So doing really, really good. Let's go ahead and bump it up to high, 800 lumens. 800 lumens, definitely lighten up everything really, really well. I mean, good all-around beam with the ST1. You can definitely see everything very, very well with the ST1. All right, let's bump up to turbo. I'll take a walk out there, and I'll probably drop it down on the way back and go through the modes there on the way back. So this is turbo, 1500 lumens with the ST1. All right, so hopefully you saw that in camera. So that is the Sofirn ST1. Purchase links and any coupons or discounts will be in the description below. So check that out if you wish. So that's going to do it for this flashlight review. So thank you for joining me for another flashlight video here. And I want to say a thank you to Sofirn for sending out the ST1 here to show on the channel. You guys take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy